The indie game rabbit hole is always an interesting experience. You will either stumble upon some hidden gems or products that shouldn't see a single ray of light and should probably be encased in a safe never to be opened. From interesting concepts to plain old knockoffs to strange hentai games, there is always something to stumble upon. And in this dive, I came across Mato Anomalies, a game that has the chance to be a hidden gem. But will it step up to the plate? Slated for a 2023 release, Mato Anomalies is a Persona-styled visual novel JRPG, where we play as two characters. Doe, a youthful yet intelligent private detective unfortunately dragged into investigating the mystery behind the city of Mato. And Graham, an edgy, slightly aggressive samurai ronin, whatever the term is, exorcist, who ventures the city's rifts prepared to slay demons to assist in Doe's investigation. Alright, it's gotta be stated, playing the game is not the smoothest of experiences. From clunky controls, delayed button responses, floating cats, repetitive dialogue, and extremely poor controller compatibility, this 100% needs to have the developer's attention. That said, it's not like this game is completely unplayable, as it does have some cool ideas that just needs some polish. While there is not a lot going on, when exploring the city, it is hinted that there will be optional content to do. So hopefully that will be pretty good, or else exploration just feels pretty bare bones. Like it's not even at the anime filler type of bare bones, it's just kinda there with some jazziest music in the background. The combat, however, seems to have a pretty fun thing going on. While not being able to explore additional attack and support skills, the abilities given to us feel hard-hitting and actually have some pretty sweet animations. Combined with a standard attack, we have two other abilities that allow us to hit multiple targets or a target multiple times. These also have a cooldown to stop us from spamming the super cool attacks, which does cause me to think how I use them, giving the player a sense of strategy. Unfortunately, this is occupied with repetitive and long dialogue that is so long the animations actually cut themselves off. Just have a listen to this.
If one strike is not enough, then I'll give you two. That was too careless. If one strike is not enough, then I'll give you two. Let's be quick.
What I wasn't expecting was a card combat system. This is utilized where Detective Batman over here decides to attack somebody's mind when they don't want to speak up. This plays very much like a Slay the Spire type of game. You draw cards randomly each turn and you use these cards to increase defense points or to attack the opposing enemies or the human mind itself. It goes back and forth until eventually you deplete the non-talking human's health points. While the system is fun, I hope as the game goes on it becomes more mentally challenging to play, as I ended up just randomly using cards until I won, which felt kind of unsatisfying. Following the Persona inspiration, all of this is occupied with a jazzy soundtrack, which is a nice delight to hear because who doesn't like jazz, huh? While they are on a tight budget, they have done an excellent job regarding the visual presentation of the game. However, this game doesn't appear to support HDR very well, so let me state that my further comments are strictly my experience using HDR. And from looking at other gameplay, this seems to be pretty non-existent. Now, as a visual novel, they have to make sure the non-animated cutscenes have an eye-catching UI, expressive character portraits, while not distracting the player from text, and I can mostly confirm that Mato does this well. The portraits with HDR were incredibly blown up and washed out, causing me to miss any details from the portraits. This mixed with the sharp edges left the characters looking pretty ugly in my experience. But apart from that, the interface is colorful, expressive, easy to read, and fits with the vibes of the game. In animated cutscenes, it mixes from full animation to storyboard comic-styled scenes. While these were rare to come across, every time they were utilized, it was done excellently, keeping me fully focused on the events at play. Outside of story events, while it could do with some improvements, the UI stayed at a good quality, carrying the futuristic theme that the city of Mato delivers. Whether that's scrolling the menus, exploring the streets, or taking some demons to Pound Town. The demo was only half an hour, so story-wise, not a lot happened. I got kidnapped, contract forged, hello lady, friend found, robo-boobies, Jokes aside, the premise seems interesting as after a tower mysteriously shut down, Joe is forced to assist Lady Nightshade, also known as Dana, with investigating the mystery of Mato, starting with Operation Handout. This leads to Doe stumbling upon the Eternal Realm, where he finds the aggressive samurai Graham, who fortunately for Don is figuring out a mystery all on his own while slicing up some demons. More is learned in the demo, but you know, I'm not here to read you the entire story. That's the game's job. While the demo didn't show much, I must say that the writing is pretty solid. They know when to be humorous, they didn't make the characters one-dimensional, and they know how to deliver information to the player to a level that, yes, even I, a guy with a caveman brain, could follow the story. Mato Anomalies is an interesting, tight-budgeted indie game that could potentially be a hidden gem in the JRPG market. For it to do this, they absolutely need to spend the time on the gameplay experience, because it is clunky enough to send players away from their game, especially with those who use HDR monitors such as myself. Will I buy this game? Only time will tell, as in this current condition, I wouldn't unless if it was 90% on sale. But if they work hard and clean up most of the clunk from the game, I can imagine myself buying it and solving the mystery that lies within Mato Anomalies.